Welcome to this week's Coffee With, featuring our host Glenda Boone. Glenda is a brand management and digital marketing consultant with more than 25 years of experience. She has planned some of the country's most notable events, including the nationally televised historic Ebenezer Baptist Church's election night coverage of President Barack Obama, the memorial service of Coretta Scott King, and the 50th anniversary of Martin Luther King's March on Washington. Further, Glenda has helped pastors produce logistical plans and playbooks for some of the most noted and fruitful religious conferences held in the U.S., including the Kingdom Conference, which was used as a business model to form MegaFest. Also recognized for creating arts and entertainment productions, Glenda has collaborated with several acclaimed visual, performing, music, literary artists and producers, including fine artist Annie Lee, actor and fine artist Billy D. Williams, founder of Trumpet Awards Zernona Clayton, and Kathy Hughes, founder of TV One, Radio and Urban One. Glenda has also collaborated and/or served under some of the country's most acclaimed religious leaders, including Bishop Walter Thomas, Reverend Al Sharpton, Reverend Jesse Jackson, Bishop Paul Morton, Bishop T.D. Jakes, Bishop Eddie Long, Dr. Brad Braxton, and Dr. Raphael Warnock, to name a few. During her tenure in this field, Glenda has developed relationships with more than 1,000 churches as well as an accomplished network of ministers, communicators, audiovisual service providers, meeting planners, and public relations specialists, enabling her to provide her clients with a network of experts positioned to attach her clients to the audiences they are seeking to serve. Realizing the marketing landscape was changing in 2009, Glenda set out to learn digital marketing strategies that would assist pastors and small business owners in navigating the online space and introduce them to digital marketing platforms and strategies. To date, Glenda has coached more than 100 small business owners to navigate the online brand management and digital marketing space and dedicates 1 hour each week to answer questions any small business owner or church leader may have through her popular YouTube show, Coffee with Glenda and Friends. Today, Glenda is considered an expert in the field of online digital brand management and marketing and is sought out by many to provide keynote speeches, e-church training, and workshops. And, through her firm, O Taste & See Marketing and Productions, Glenda provides online marketing, CTV media buys, and digital marketing SEO management services. The firm's focus is to assist clients in increasing revenues, decreasing expenses, and expanding their customer and/or donor bases. Glenda will be joining us shortly to answer any questions you have. But before we start the show, just a few housekeeping items. 1. Grab your coffee and your questions, and if watching from YouTube, place your questions in the chat box and Glenda will attempt to answer as many as possible. If we miss your questions, please feel free to come back to the replay and enter your question in the comment box, as Glenda always answers all comments. 2. At the conclusion of each show, Glenda will create a how-to video detailing the most interactive or asked questions during the show. This content will be exclusively for subscribers who have a paid subscription. Click on Join to learn about the perks of becoming a paid subscriber of Glenda's YouTube channel, including being featured as a co-host on a live Coffee with Glenda and Friends show. Okay, I believe that's it. Let's start the show.
Listen up, ladies and
Let's go. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. It's still the best.
Good morning. Happy Monday. I hope everyone had a fabulous week and a wonderful weekend. If you are in the eastern area of the Americas, like me, you saw a little bit of everything. I live in the northeast area of America, and we saw snow, we saw sleet, we saw sun, we had wind, we had a little bit of everything this weekend, but all is well. And I hope that you had a great weekend. Now, we're going to talk about today, we're going to continue our discussion on content marketing because we had a lot of questions come in regarding content marketing last week. So I thought it's best that we stay on this level, and we're going to dig a little bit deeper into content marketing. If again, we're going to start off by saying that I'd like for you to like, share, and subscribe. If you're not already a subscriber of my YouTube channel, I hope that you find great value out of the playlist that I've created under Coffee With. This is an audience that is geared towards small business owners, as well as those of you that work in the religious market industry, church pastors, church administrators, church communicators, media techs, anyone that has a need to learn how to delve into the digital marketing space. We started this 10 years ago at least, started mentoring small business owners. And when COVID hit, we had to pivot a little bit and find a more strategic way and less time consuming way to be able to offer small business owners pro bono service and advice. So we decided to create a mentoring program where we mentored about 10 individuals for a year and a half. And it went really, really well. And from that, we decided to expand it a little bit. And so I join you on Monday mornings, starting at 11. I try to be as brief as I possibly can. When I have guests, we do tend to go a little over an hour. But when it's just me, I try to keep it under 30 to 35 minutes. So for those of you who may be joining us a little bit later, make sure that you do check the replay in case you missed anything that we started in the beginning. We try to be as prompt as possible because I know a lot of you are sneaking and taking coffee breaks or early lunch breaks. So we're going to dive into today 2 questions that I had last week that I thought was very, very enlightening and that you may benefit from it. And the first question is, I need advice on how to create good videos for content marketing. So I thought that this was an intriguing question because we see a lot of content every day. We see millions and millions of different types of impressions. We see it on the television. We see it on our smartphones. We see it when we're browsing on our desktop computers. And the question becomes, what makes us stop? What makes us stop and look at content that we don't like? We tend to bypass. We tend to skip right over it. But something always catches our eye. And normally that's some type of image, is some type of catchy title. So it's something that makes us want to stop. So the first step in creating good content is to make sure that you have something that makes people want to stop and look or read or watch your content. So a lot of people think that it's thumbnails, what we call thumbnails, which are pictures. If you're doing YouTube videos, that's very important. The initial picture when you're, going through YouTube, you put in the YouTube search bar what it is you're looking for. And then you have a tendency to scroll down the page and look at first at something that's very interesting to you. And then you tend to look at what's called that description. And we're going to talk about the description, especially for YouTube. If you are a paid subscriber, you're going to get that video this week where I will show you how to create, set up, devise your title, your description, your tags. What does all that stuff mean when you're setting up your YouTube, and how can it be most effective to make people want to stop? Because the first thing people do is they look at the title of your video, they look at the image of your video, then they read the description. And that's when they decide whether or not they're going to click the button. So pretty much that's the easy part, guys. I mean, it sounds hard, but that's really the easy part of it. The hard part is once they click that button, to get them to read your blog post or to watch your video or to click the button to learn more from your Facebook post. So we're going to talk about that part of content marketing for this session. What do you have to do once people click the button and they say, okay, I'm going to give you a try? What do you need to do? All right. The first thing you need to do is you have to be your authentic self. Your video doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be great. It doesn't have to have great looking images. Some of the best stuff on YouTube, especially if you're doing how-to YouTubes, some of the best stuff is, of course, stuff that, the guy's in their bedroom or they're in their office, the dog is barking. You're really interested in what that person has to say. So you want to really create and be, not create, but be who you are. I have a client who is just generally just funny, really, really, really funny. And they have built their marketing channel and they've built their brand image. People come to them because they're going to be entertained as well as they sell products, but they're going to be entertained as well as sell products. So I push this client all the time to just be you. So, she watches other videos and she sees how they're so professional and she's like, well, I got to tone my stuff down. But that's really not why they're gravitating to her channel or her lives. They're gravitating because they like her authenticity. So the first step is to understand that people are coming to you because they want to hear what you have to write, or they want to see what you have to write, or they want to hear what you have to say and watch it. So you want to be yourself in doing that. Again, your videos don't have to be picture perfect. When I first started out, if you go back to some of our playlists, you'll see just how authentic our content really is. So that's the first thing, is to make sure that before you click on that button and click on that camera and, click on your smartphone and get in front of thousands or hundreds or 10 people, you just want to make sure you just be you. All right. Now, the second thing is to, when you're creating content, whether you're writing it, whether you're doing a YouTube video on it, you want to tell a story. Okay. Don't go on there selling. Okay. People get sold all day long. People watch commercials everywhere. I mean, you even watch commercials on YouTube now. So you want to make sure that your content is something that where you are telling a story, you are giving people value, okay? Not just talking about the product. Tell a story behind the product. If you manufacture products, tell a story about that product. What is the process? What inspired you to create that product? Tell your viewers or write down for your readers your story. The third thing you want to do is you want to prove to your audience that you can help them. Okay. What have you done? Get testimonies, especially if you're doing videos. You want to get some testimonies of people who have done business with you, who have purchased your products. Get reviews. Reviews are very, very important. You can get reviews for free on some platforms. If you're in our Marketplace Business Center, if you're a paid subscriber, then you know that you get a free snapshot report from our company. And there is in your office an opportunity for you to be able to ask people for reviews. You can also do this from, if you have a Google My Business page. If you don't have a Google My Business page, again, if you're now paid membership subscribers, we help you set that up for free. You can go on Google and set it up on your own, however, and you can ask for reviews. Reviews are very similar to what is known as a testimony. There's nothing greater, however, than a live testimony. If you are doing YouTube lives, then make sure that you invite some of your clients or, some of your customers. Make sure you invite them onto your live broadcast. And so they can provide a live testimony on your behalf. The proof is in the pudding. So make sure that in your content, you can prove to people what it is that you're doing. If you're doing a premiere type of video or if you're not live, you want to make sure in your introductions that you be able to prove what it is that you're doing before you even get into the actual content that you are presenting. Okay. And the last part is to make sure that you tell them what you want them to do next. Okay. After you've presented the content, tell them what it is they're supposed to do next. People will act if you ask. The door, scriptures say, they ask and the door shall be open. So make sure that you tell the people what you want them to do next. And what is that? Do you want them to subscribe to your channel? Do you want them to purchase a product? If so, have you placed the link for them to purchase that product? Tell them that you've placed the link. Tell them where they can find the link to purchase that product. So we call this the 4 C's in content marketing. And the first, where you want to be your authentic self, is what we refer to as building your character. If you've been watching the videos in a playlist, or if you're a paid subscriber member, then you know from my lessons that people buy last. They first have to like and they have to trust you. And you get them to like you and trust you by building up your character, who you are. Let them see who you are. Okay. And if they like you and they trust you, they may just purchase your product, and they may also refer you business. So that's the first thing, is that you want to build up your character with them and be your authentic self. The second, telling the story, refers to you connecting with your audience. You want to connect with that customer. You want to see how what you have makes sense to them. It connects with them. It makes them want to continue to watch, share, like, or subscribe. You have to connect. Everybody is not going to want to connect with you. I give you a great example is when I do the lives every week. Okay. Thousands of people may pop on, but as soon as, hundreds of people will pop right off. And that means that I haven't really connected with them. Now, am I trying to have all 2,000, 4,000, 5,000 people? Am I trying to connect with them? No, I'm not. I'm really trying to connect with what? My persona. Okay. But to reach your persona, and for those of you who are doing your homework, then you know already what a persona is. If you know who your persona is, that is the person who will like, that is the person who will share, that is the person who will comment, that is the person who will subscribe, and that is your lead. Okay. Now, we're going to talk about leads. Probably do leads, how to identify leads from social marketing. I'm going to have to write that down. We might do that in the next couple weeks, because people don't even realize when they have leads. Okay, but I'm not going to digress today, because I said we're going to keep it brief today. But you want to make sure that you connect with your audience, your personas. Now, for those of you who on the opposite end, you get on in the first 10 or 15 minutes, there's only 1 or 2 people on. What I suggest, if you notice, I always start my videos, if I have a guest, I do a bio of that guest, okay? And I do housekeeping in a video, even though I do it again, okay? Because some people skip over the during the replay, they skip over that opening video. So make sure you do your intros twice. If you have a recorded intro, that's great, but then make sure you do your intro again when you go live. The reason I do that is because it allows people to time to get on. And instead of me saying, hi, everyone, just waiting for everybody to come in. Hi, Shoshan, how you doing? Hi, such and such, how you doing? That kind of gets old with people who really clicked on your content. They clicked on that channel, they clicked on that video because they connected to that video. So when they click it on, they really want to find value information that's of value to them. So that's why you want to have what we call a little bluffer at the beginning. When you say you're going live at 11, you just don't want to come on right away live. You want to have some type of intro coming in to allow people time to come on to your platform without you having to sit there and say, we're just waiting. Come on, come on. I don't know if you're like me, that's a little bit unnerving. And I quickly click off content. And I say I'm going to go back to it a little bit later, but then a lot of times I get tied up and I never really get back to watching that content. All right. So now when we tell our story, we're telling that particular story. We're going to go back and use the intro. In the video intro, it tells the person's story. So even before they come on live, you are really sharing value, sharing content, allowing your audience to decide, do I want to stick with this or do I want to click off? And so that is why I know on the YouTube platform, you have to have, I think it's like 30 seconds or a minute and a half before YouTube will really count that as a viable view. So if you're doing a live and you may have thousands of people on your live while you're on there, but then a couple of days later you go back and you see, well, wait a minute, I lost some views. Well, that's called an audit, and YouTube will go in, especially if you're monetizing your channel, and they do audits to make sure that you have viable viewers. So what does that mean? That means that everybody that clicks on your live is not going to stay on your live. All right. But on the flip side, if you have a live, and like when I started, I was talking to myself. I mean, for months, there was nobody on the live. I was talking to myself, but I was doing that video as if I was talking to thousands of people. And why is that? That's because as soon as your video stops going live, it is now on YouTube and is considered video content, and people will watch it doing replays. This is the same for Facebook or IG Live or any other live platform you're going on. It is not so much the actual live. And I tell people this constantly. Do not get discouraged if you're talking to 1, 2, 3, 4 people or nobody. Like in my case, for months, I was talking to just me. It will build up with your consistency in your good content. If you're putting up bad content, then no, your channel's not going to grow. No one's going to read your blog. If you're not haven't really done your market research and talking to the right people. Sometimes we put up the right content, but we're targeting the wrong people. If you're doing something that's geared towards business owners, but you're putting on TikTok, most people aren't going to TikTok for that type of content unless you're doing an ad. All right. So telling the story, part of the content, and doing your lives, make sure you give yourself enough time to make sure that when you do go live, you're ready to go live. Okay, you're ready to rehash your intro and to go straight into the content, because that is what people want. All right. To prove how you can help them, that's building the credibility. So again, if you have some type of intro video, you want to prove what you've done, name names. If you've worked with people, high profiles or brands, make sure you name those brands, because that's building your credibility. If you're doing live shows, invite people on to the show that have done business with you. Therefore, they will, at some point, they will do a testimony on your behalf, not to be fake or phony, but because they really are grateful for what you've done or how you've done it. It is always better for a prospective customer to hear from one of your current customers or your previous customers or clients. Okay. And then the final part, which is tell them what you want to do next. That is called your call to action. Your call to action, this is where most people fail. They do great videos, but then they don't tell people what they want to do next. They say, okay, thank you for watching. See you next time. Okay, if I'm pretty much want to go deeper with you, if I want to have a conversation with you, if I want to send you an email, like, I don't want to just wait to see your next video. I want to know more, or I want to purchase. How do I do that? So answer that question before they ask the question. What is it you want them to do next? On my channel, you all know I'm very transparent. I give value. Okay. I make sure I'm very passionate about making sure that I give back. So I do the mentoring. I do these type of short little lessons to help people because I know how difficult it was for me to get going. And it's still difficult because the world that I'm in changes every hour. So I feel like I'm going to be in school for the rest of my life or until I retire from this industry. So if I can be of help to someone else, then that is very, very important to me. However, I do want people to do something because I am trying to also continue to market and build my business. And this is a tool by which I do that. So at the end of the day, what is it that I want you to do? Well, I want you to, one, become a paid subscriber if you're in a position to do that. And those memberships are $2.99, $6.99, or $24.99 per month. So it is affordable to everyone depending on what level and what their needs are. So that's one call to action. The second call to action is that I want to talk to you one-on-one. So if you're serious about your business and you want to have a one-on-one consultation, I do that for free. Okay. And I tell people to sign up. Okay. Go to my website, glendaboone.com, click on the Let's Talk button and schedule an appointment so that we can have a one-on-one. Now, what is that getting for me? How does that benefit and help me scale my business? Well, it helps me to get leads. Every time you're creating content, you should be creating content with one thing in mind. It's not to sell the product. If you sell the product, that's great. It's to build the relationship. Okay. And every step towards that, you're taking baby steps. First, you're giving them the content. Okay. You're giving it to them. Then you're asking them to do something. In my case, it's asking them to set up a private consultation. And then when we have that one-on-one, either they're going to move forward in contracting our services, or they're going to become a paid subscriber. But one or two things are going to happen. When we have that one-on-one consultation, one of those two things are going to happen. So does it bring value to me, to my business, to come on and give great value to you every Monday? Absolutely. Okay. And that is the same pattern I suggest you take for your business. Remember, I said for those of you who are in my paid membership group, you already know, or you should know by now after watching all of those videos, is that building the relationship is crucial. You build the relationship by providing great value to people. And then once you provide that value, then you have to create great call to actions and then make sure your deliverables are just off the chain. Okay. So that's pretty much my advice on how to create good videos for content marketing. It is not so much how pretty the video looks, although I'm going to give you some tips and some stuff economically you can do. But it is very much about being your authentic self, staying in tune and connecting with your audience, making sure you're constantly building your credibility, and then clearly defining for people what your call to actions should be. All right. Now, let me just go to the next one here. Get some water. Okay, guys. What does the term repurpose content mean? Okay. Repurposing content means using the same content on various digital marketing platforms. So if you created an email and you have a website, Most websites today, especially the DIY ones, have an option that's called blog. Okay. And, if you did your website yourself, or if you had someone do it, check in your back end to see if you have an option called blog. If you do, it's probably turned off because you probably haven't written a blog. And if you don't, I suggest, if you haven't and you are creating content, even if it's emails, then I suggest you turn it on and you create your first blog. A blog is simply an extension of a website. It's where a person posts information. And so you can use a blog instead of you sitting down, creating an email, then turn around and have to sit down and say, well, what kind of blog can I create on this? You can simply take that email, add a fancy little picture from it using Canva. I highly suggest Canva as an affordable DIY graphic site for you all. You can add a nice little picture to that, and you can take that same email and post it into a blog post. Most blogs can be found. You don't have to create a whole nother WordPress blog site. You don't have to do that. You can create a blog right from your current website. So you take that same email, add a picture, and boom, put it into your website's blog. Now, their SEO, we talked about SEO a little bit. For those of you who are paid subscribers, you know SEO, you know the tool that you can use to help you find the right content so that when you write that blog, it shows up in the search engines. Okay. So that's it from email to blog. Now, let's say that same email, all right, you created a blog. You can take that blog post and you can narrow it down a little bit because nobody wants to read a dissertation on Facebook. You can cut it down a little bit, maybe to the first paragraph. Use the same picture you used on your blog and say, for more here, and do a link. Add a link into your Facebook post and link that to your blog. Okay, so you're not rewriting content for your Facebook posts on this product. You're taking that same email and you broke it down and you put it on a blog on your website. And now you're going to take that blog and you're going to take the first paragraph of that blog and the picture you got from Canva. You're going to put it on your Facebook business page. Don't put it on your personal page. If you don't have a Facebook business page, and you're in business and you're putting stuff on your personal page, I'm telling you now, you're pissing your family and your friends off. Your family and friends really want to be social with you. They really don't want to see business stuff on your personal page. However, sometimes, a guy and a girl got to do what they got to do. And so if it's something that's really, really important, you can create something on your business page and share it to your personal page. But don't do that every day. Okay. Do that very sparingly for very, very special products. So if you don't have a business page and you are a business, then make sure you create a business page. So the email and the blog post is now a Facebook post. It's the same content. You didn't write anything all over again. You just posted it. Now, what can we put in our story? The same thing. You can take that one picture and the title, and then write in the link of where you want that person to go. The link is the what? The link is your call to action, because you want to say, click here for more. Click here for more is your call to action. So that's saying, now this is the same content, okay? You created an email, you went to Canva, you put a picture in the email, then you took some information you took that email and you put that in your blog post on your website. Then you took the blog post, you took the first paragraph from the blog post, you put it on your Facebook business page with the link, which is your call to action. Click here for more is your call to action to your blog post or to wherever else you want it to go. In this case, it'd be a blog post. Then you go to your Instagram story or your Facebook story. You put the picture in there with the link. Click here for more, click here to read more, and now it's going to all of those platforms. That is what repurposing content means. It's taking the same content and it's putting on different platforms. Now, let's say that you're brave enough now, you've done your email, you've done your Facebook post, you put in your stories, your reels, and now you're ready to go on YouTube, okay? So I'm going to put it on live. I'm going to do a Facebook live, I'm going to do a YouTube live, I'm going to go live. So how do we do that? We take that same content, okay, and we have that content somewhere near us, and we say, did we turn the live button on? And we say, I recently did a post on such and such and such and such, the title of whatever it is that you talked about in your email. And then you're just going to have an authentic conversation with you and the one person who might be on there with you or yourself on live, on YouTube Live if you have a YouTube channel, on Facebook Live if you have a Facebook channel. That is the place where you talk about what you wrote about. Okay. Some people will have their little cliff notes. Some people will have it all up there and they'll just highlight it. But you're going to use that particular platform to do what? To show your character, to build your credibility, to prove that you know what you're talking about because you got it on all these different platforms and people are clicking on it. Okay. And so you're using the same content, but this particular, this platform, this video platform, that content needs to be authentic. Okay. But you're using the same content. The content that I'm sharing with you all is the same type of content I used for 1.5 years when I did the private training. Okay. So it's the same content, but I'm on YouTube now and I am doing what? I am doing the 4 C's. Make sense? All right. So the last thing I want to talk about today is thank you. Thank you so much for chiming in, Denise. Thank you for becoming a co-host. I appreciate that so much. And yes, go to glendaboone.com. I'll put that in the to schedule your private consultation. All right. I hope that was clear for everyone. If not, just send me an email and let me know if you need me to elaborate more on content marketing. The next thing I want to talk about is the tools. A lot of people, they think you have to have this big old fancy studio and all of this good stuff. You really, really, really don't need a lot of fancy stuff. Most people today, if you have a Samsung Galaxy phone, you have one of the best cameras in your phone than they do when they shoot motion picture movies. Same thing for iPhone 11 XR and up. You have great, great, great cameras that you can create. There's a tool that you can buy. It's called Gimbal, Gimball. And I had put a link into my Amazon store in the chat box. It's also up here if you want to, and I'll put it in our video. For the replay, you can click on the replay and I'll have a link there that you can go straight to the page. I have what's called in my Amazon store a DIY studio. And in that studio is where I have the different types of economical products you can buy to build your own in-house, I guess I could say studio, okay, or office or bedroom. Most of you use Zoom, so you know about virtual backgrounds, okay, so you can create your own virtual background. You may need to get a very affordable, what they call a green screen, and there's some that you can put on the back of your chair. Those options are also in the Amazon store for you guys to look at. Very, very economical. It can make you look like you're in this great, huge office building, or, it just can make you look like you're in a whole nother world. And it helps to build your credibility. a little bit, and you don't feel like you're an amateur, and that really helps you. But again, keep it very basic. Don't make it very, very, very no lights, camera, action like you in a newsroom studio. People don't like that. So just make sure that it's authentic. But this gimbal, you can put it up in front of you. You can hold it in your hand. It is a stabilizer, so it won't move all over the place. It's very, very economical and a very easy way for you to literally just put something on your desk, your camera on your desk, and talk straight to your phone. If you are like me and you prefer desktop instead of a phone, there's also a webcam, very economical. I mean, people think you have to spend thousands and thousands of dollars. You don't. You have to spend a couple $100s, but not thousands of dollars. If you have a high resolution, if you have a Mac, a lot of the webcams on the Macs are good. If you have a Dell computer or a PC computer, then if you have a newer model, those webcams are good. Now, for those of you that don't have a webcam, or you have a laptop that doesn't have a webcam, then Logitech Brio is a great, great, great suggestion. That is also in the Amazon store. And again, I'll put that link. The link is in the chat box, but I'll also put it in the video. During the replay, you can come back and you can click on those links so you can get access to the page. Or if you just want to write it down now, you can. It's also in the screen. Those are two items. You do have to have a camera. There is some light. I purposely today, you're normally used to seeing me a little bit brighter. I purposely today did not turn on my light, but I will do that now. And one day I will even show you really the real where I really film. But you see the difference in the lighting, okay, with the lighting on. These are very, very economical. I think I paid like $30 and it sits right on the tabletop. But that's with the light on, and this one is with the light off. So you do see a difference, see? Light on. And then you can also move the light, around a little bit. But you get the idea. All right, so you do need some type of lighting. It doesn't have to be big old screens. It doesn't have to be what you all see in these videos, these grand studios with all cords everywhere. It does not have to be that at all. And again, one day when we have some real time and I talk about that, I will show you. I will attempt to show you just how all of this stuff comes together. Well, that pretty much does it for me. We're right at 11:45. I am so proud of myself that I am staying on time. I do thank you for joining me with this week's Coffee With. Make sure that if you have any questions or comments, you watch the replay, go to the replay and put it in the comment box. Please do comment if you can. I do appreciate them, and they do help me with my ratings and rankings on YouTube. I'd also appreciate any support I do serve as affiliates for a lot of the vendors that I speak out. I do place those links in my video as well. You are not obligated to use any of the suppliers that I offer, but it does help me out just the same. All right, that's it for me. I look forward to sharing with you next week's Coffee With. Until then, have a blessed day. Bye.